about passive and active transport. First, we're going to start with passive transport. When it's active transport, there's no ATP used. If you want a video to find out what ATP is, I could talk about it and explain it. Just make sure to write it in the comment section. There's 3 types of passive transport. The first one is just diffusion. And this happens when any molecule go from high concentration to a low concentration. For example, we can see the lipids right here. If you want to know what they are, I could explain it in another video as well. And here we could see these are the proteins. They're going from a high to a lower concentration. Here we have more and here we have less. Anything with passive transport, it goes from a high to a low concentration. And don't forget that this is with any molecule. The fusion is with any molecule. The second type of passive transport is osmosis. Osmosis only transports water. Only water. It's the same thing from like the fusion, but instead of being molecules, it's just water. So just like water going from a high to a lower concentration of water. That's what osmosis is. The last one is facilitated diffusion. I'm just going to write down facilitated. And this type of diffusion is like there is a protein channel. So here I'm drawing the lipids again. And instead there'll be a protein channel here, which makes it easier for the proteins here to go down to the lower concentration. It just makes it easier to go through. It's like a helper. And everything is from a high concentration to a lower concentration. And no ATP. Don't forget about that. That's passive transport. And there's no ATP used. So those were the 3 types of passive transport. Now we're going to learn about the next type of transport. The second type of transport is active transport. And here ATP is used. Because for example, let's say you're active and going outside and doing stuff, you're using energy. So yes, ATP is being used in active transport. The first type of active transport is endocytosis. Let me write it down right here. Endocytosis. Endocytosis is when, let's say there's a cell and there's something outside the cell, like a protein, and then this is gonna go in the cell. So the cell is gonna engulf it like this. Then this is gonna happen. It's getting closer, and then it's gonna be inside the cell. And that's engulfing it. There's 2 different types of ways that endocytosis could happen. And there is pinocytosis, when is that liquid is going inside the cell, like water, like a liquid just being transported in the cell. And phagocytosis is when a molecule is being put into the cell by engulfing it. And yes, don't forget, ATP is being used in this process. The next type of active transport is exocytosis. This one is easier to learn because when you see exo, it's like exiting the cell. So instead of going in, it's already in, and it's actually going to be getting out the cell. Till it gets out. I'm sorry the drawings are so close together, but I'm just going to show it quickly. So instead of going in the cell, like endocytosis is going out the cell. The last active transport will be protein pump. And this one is like facilitated diffusion. It's just in active transport. So this time you do use ATP, and it's just like I said, like a channel. It's like a channel that brings everything from a high concentration to a low concentration. That's the thing though, when you do active transport, it goes from a low concentration to a high concentration. That's the difference. I'm gonna show them in a second, the differences. Okay, here we got active transport and passive transport. In passive transport, as we remember, there's no ATP being used, no energy. While in active transport, there is ATP. So yes, ATP. Then passive transport goes from a high concentration to a low concentration, while active goes from a low to a high concentration. These are like the main differences within them. The other ones are like easier to understand because passive uses more of the lipids, like you see a lot of lipids, so you may know that most of it will be for passive, unless you see a channel, which means that's for this side. If you see this, exactly, that's for this one. But if you see this, like this shape, that's a protein. A protein is for passive. So you see this one is for passive, this one is for active. That's the difference between the protein pump and the protein like channel, you know. If I made any mistakes in the video, please let me know, because I'm a student here to teach other students. So yeah guys, just let me know. And I'm trying to get educated in most of the topics, so if you guys need any tutoring, I'm available just for free. You just have to write down in the comment section. And thank you for watching. Bye. Hello everyone.